your lifetime, certainly you can pass it to your what? Children and grandchildren. Wouldn't they be appreciative if it goes up 100 times? And especially so, here's a killer. Here's a killer. You know what's the forces against me and there's forces that help me. You know what's my tailwind that's going to go up at least 100 times? It's that slide with the Zimbabwe $100 billion. We measure Bitcoin prices in what? In fiat money, in US dollars.
Bad money.
Right? It's a bad money. That's going to go stinky. Think about it. If the government screws up with the budget and they keep budget deficit, they're going to keep borrowing money, higher, bigger debt, there's going to be more printing. People, I mean, this is embarrassing, okay? This is really embarrassing. People in Silicon Valley are making $300,000 as annual salary. I don't know if any of you are, but that's embarrassing because, I mean, it's good money, but it's embarrassing because there are many people in other parts of the country only surviving on $30,000. Yes. And that's poverty, right? So my point is, soon, your children will graduate from college. I don't care if it's a community college or Stanford University. They'll have $1 million salaries coming out. Right? It's true. It's true. Right? It's no different than talking to your grandparents where cheeseburgers were 30 cents and their salary was $600. I mean, it's that kind of, it's just inflation through 30 years. Right? So Bitcoin will definitely go up 100 times. Right? Think about it. There's only 21 million. Okay? And number 4 mistake, let's see this, okay? Selling during a panic crash. Yeah, oh my gosh, China banned Bitcoin, sell. So Bitcoin, it's true. There's a lot of manipulation, there's a lot of good news and bad news, a lot of panic crashes. Recently Bitcoin came down to $6,000, I think went down $5,000. It's market panic, and it goes down further. People sell. But let's be honest here. Any of you sell Bitcoin in the last 2 weeks or 2 months? No? See, that's probably a panic crash, right? It's not because you needed the money. But it's not because of that. My point is, don't be a day trader. I mean, none of us here, if you're a day trader, you wouldn't be attending this, right? Right? If you're a successful day trader, you wouldn't be here. So my point is, if you're here listening to me, you really should not try to time the market. Don't worry if it's going to go down next week, next month. Don't worry if it's go up next week. Just buy and hold for 10 years, 20 years. Buy it for your children, okay? That's what I'm doing. Okay, so those are 4 mistakes. So this concludes my talk today. It's the impact of Bitcoin in society in ownership, control, and freedom. Okay, thank you very much. I'll take some questions, but I want to just say one more point. So please follow me on Twitter. That's my Twitter handle at Bobby C. Lee, and it's a self-serving purpose. So what I tell people publicly is that the number of Twitter followers I have is my price prediction for Bitcoin. So it's a one-way street, right? Hopefully. So it keeps going up. So I started this when Bitcoin was I only had 2,000 followers, and Bitcoin was not even $2,000. So all the past points it's already come true. From 2,000 to 4,000, from 10,000, 20,000. It's all come true. Now I have over 75,000 Twitter followers, and my price target really is 75,000, at least 75,000 US dollars. Okay, so it's self-serving, right? The more of you follow me, the higher the Bitcoin price, the wealthy we all get. Okay, all right, thank you. So good. So let's. I know it's already 7:30, but I'm here. I can answer some questions. I love audience questions. Okay, you first. So we're gonna do this. Okay. Yeah. To be fair, sure. I'll have you stand up. Sure. That way we know who wants to ask a question. So stand up and just say your name and ask your question.
My name's Artie. Bobby, what do you when people talk about the high price of mining for environmental reasons?
The electricity, stuff like that. Address that. Okay, so Bitcoin mining is a process of getting Bitcoins into the system, okay? Mining, you all know what mining is, right? Bitcoin mining. So there's electricity usage and stuff like that. So it turns out, the skeptics all point out, oh, mining is so bad for the environment, they use all this electricity, it's expensive. But what isn't expensive? Right? Holding this meetup is bad for the environment. How many of you drove here? All the fossil fuel. The lights are on. The air conditioning is on. Right? Gold. Shipping money to ATM machines. You have these huge logistic companies that ship US dollars back and forth. All the armored trucks and the personnel and the guns and ammunition they use. Right? To guard the ATMs and all the networks. I mean, the truth is the existing financial banking system is just as a bad abuser of energy of the environment as Bitcoin is. It's just how it is. But it comes down to, should people tell you what you can and cannot do with your electricity? It comes down to that. It's a freedom. Can I spend electricity to light up Christmas lights? Can I spend electricity to power my washing machine? Or do you want me to hand wash my clothes and dry it on a cloth line? It comes down to that. Does the government have a right and role to dictate how you spend your money and how you spend your electricity? It comes down to that kind of freedom. So to me, if I want to spend my money to pay for electricity to run a computer, I should damn well be allowed to do that. So it comes down to freedom. So I have no problem with Bitcoin mining. I think that's a good thing because that protects the network. It keeps it honest. Yeah. Thank you for the question. Yeah, sir, back there.
My name is Pat Krishnan. You basically listed out a list of reasons why the government is suppressing Bitcoin. I think the one most biggest reason is they don't want a parallel economy being run on Bitcoin.
They don't.
Because of one reason, very important, which is Bitcoin today is not able to hold the value that it's, from doing today. It's very speculative in nature. And it's not tied to any of the monetary or fiscal policies of the government. So it's not the government's responsibility to protect the investment of an individual when it goes down and it goes up. It's like a stock market, right? Like you have SEC, which regulates the stock market to make sure that everybody gets the information that they can make a decision.
So you're asking the question: should governments have a stronger role in regulating? Right? Is your question? What's your question?
My question is: it is not tied to any of the monetary or fiscal policy. So the value is.
Yeah, it's a market force. Nothing wrong with that. The stock price of Apple is not tied to fiscal policies.
No, they are tied to the company's performance. End of the day, when we see.
But it's only our judgment. It's market forces. I'm a believer in free market. Right? I'm not a believer in managed prices. Right? The euro and U.S. dollar, that exchange rate price, it's market forces. So it's a slippery slope when you authorize a government to go in and regulate everything. It's a slippery slope. It's like government can tell you, oh, you have a car, you drive gasoline, we can tell you where you can go, where you cannot go. Some people can make a case, yeah, we can only allow you to go to certain places at certain times of the day, but we won't allow you to go elsewhere. Right? It's a slippery slope. Okay? So if you lived, I'm living in China and I see it firsthand, about freedom and lack of freedom. And it's a breath of fresh air when I come to the United States. I get all the freedom back. That in China, it's really scary. Yeah. Okay, why stand up?
My name is Asghar. I have two questions. One is, do you still own BTCC? And is mining still profitable?
Good questions. So I sold the company. BTCC got acquired at the beginning of this year. So I'm the co-founder, but I'm no longer running it. They have a new management team in place. Yes, thank you. Any entrepreneurs out here? Yeah. So such a relief to exit. Oh man, so happy. Thank you. So being an entrepreneur is hard. It's challenging. I can give a whole talk about the life of an entrepreneur as a CEO, as a co-founder. And anyways, I'm just like, whew. I made my investors money. I made my co-founders money. We're very happy. My employees got paid and bonuses and all that. So it's a great way to wrap up a 5-year career in BTCC. And the second question is, mining so profitable? By definition, it's no different than drilling for oil and mining gold. In fact, it's no different than doing anything. In the United States, people still collect cans of aluminum and send it to the recycling plant. Right? If you do it in China too, right? Is that profitable? Well, of course it is. Right? It's either profitable because it pays, or it's profitable because the government subsidizes the payment such that recycling is profitable. Same in gold mining and oil drilling. It's profitable, doesn't matter what the price of oil is, doesn't matter what the price of gold is. Because for the people it's no longer profitable, those will stop doing it. So if oil prices keep going down, some countries will stop drilling oil. If gold prices keep going down, some mines will stop mining gold, they'll close. And vice versa, if gold prices keep going up, you'll see what? More gold mines opening up. If oil prices keep going up, you'll see more oil drilling and shale oil and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with Bitcoin. The Bitcoin price goes up and down. It doesn't matter. It's always profitable because the people who are doing it at a profit. If it's not profitable for them, they will stop. So that's the free market at work here. All right. You stand up first and you get to ask a question. All right, you first. Yeah.
Prior to banks, like banks exist as you're able to securely hold your capital in banks, and you're also able to monetize money that's just lying around.
How do you monetize it?
Well, you're supposed to earn an interest on what.
See, that's fake. That's fake. It's like United Airlines giving me more miles when I have my airline miles held with United. It's all fake.
I disagree with that.
But go on.
Okay, so
it's relative.
do you?
It's like me punching you 10 times and say, if you smile, I won't punch you. And also, you got rewarded for smiling.
But also, like the security, like if I'm holding $1 million in my house, I don't feel comfortable with that, and I would want professionals to do something like that.
Yeah.
So there's those two benefits of actual banking. Do you see?
Except you want the people holding your money to really listen to you. As
Yeah, absolutely. Like the current banking system, I agree, is flawed.
Okay.
But do you see a reconstruction of the banking system happening over the?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I agree with several points he made. It's true that some people won't ever have the comfortableness or the technical know-how to hold their own cryptocurrencies. We like trusting other people, professionals, to do things for us, whether it's investing, managing, and stuff like that. I absolutely agree with that. There will always be a class of people, always be demand for third-party services to do that stuff. So same with cryptocurrencies. For many of us, we hold cryptocurrencies ourselves with our own private keys and wallets and stuff like that. But for some of you may choose to let Coinbase, let another exchange service or wallet provider hold your crypto. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you understand the risks. Okay? But what's great about Bitcoin is now we actually have a choice. We have a choice to either hold it ourselves or to let the bank hold it. Whereas in the old system, you had no choice because you're incentivized, or rather you're de-incentivized to hold cash. There is a war on cash coming. It's not just the interest rate itself. The interest they pay at banks is really a gimmick to make you tender in your money into the bank. Right? That's why they hate deflation, because it rewards you to hold your own money. That's why banks and the whole system is wired for inflation. Think about that. Naturally, money shouldn't have inflation or deflation. It should just be 0% automatic gain. But they give you this drip of inflation of interest to lure your money into their control, so they have control of your money. That's the evilness of this current system. And I didn't realize it until just the last few years. Right? I'm a grown man. I've been blind for the first 35 years of my life. Okay, you're first, and then you're next.
All right. How do you create demand for a cryptocurrency?
How do I create demand? For me, it's about. So first of all, to me, Bitcoin is the real cryptocurrency. A lot of other cryptos out there, what we call altcoins, what I call shit coins, what we call scam coins. Those are shit coins and scam coins. I don't promote them. I don't advocate for them. I don't think you should buy them. Okay? But for Bitcoin, the hardest thing is education and understanding. So that's why I'm thinking of writing a book later this year. That's why I give speeches on this topic. It's to help people bring awareness to people, help you understand what is crypto, why this is a big deal. Right? Did you guys like this talk?
Yes.
Did you learn something from it?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the content that I want to put in my book to help the average person understand what the big deal is about crypto. It's about a new kind of ownership. It's about freedom of money.
I have a follow-up question. What's your thought about asset-backed funds?
Asset-backed coins are not coins. They're just securities. Right? It's just someone promising to pay. It's no different. It's to me that problem has been solved. It's not a new problem, interesting problem for me. It's not decentralized. It's not freedom. It's not about private keys. It's not that. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine business model. It's kind of like movie tickets, right? When you have a movie ticket, what happens? The movie theater will honor it, so you go to the movie theater, they'll let you watch the movie. When you have a Disneyland ticket, what happens? It's asset-backed. Disneyland will honor it and let you go into Disneyland on that day. Or if you don't go that day, you can go the next day. But again, it's about the rules of tickets. Some tickets are for the day only. You can't go the next day if you don't sell it.
But it makes the asset liquid before it was not liquid. It could not be transferred.
that problem's been solved. There's nothing new about asset-backed securities. It's been solved. Okay. Thank you for the question. Okay, we're gonna go here first, and then whoever stands up next is the next person.
First of all, this guy is awesome. He told me about Bitcoin 2012, and I think this is
Well, I didn't see that. Really, 2012, huh?
2012,
Yeah. See, multi-millionaire, not in the making.
Could be. I don't know what I done in the past 6 years, not that. So my question is that, forget ICOs and all the tokens and fluff. What is your thought on smart contract platform and the use case beyond cryptocurrency?
Yeah, smart contracts are tough. I think they're tough because in the end, crypto is about code, it's about software, language, and in the end, it turns out software resides in computers. They don't know what's going on in the real world. So my biggest challenge for smart contracts and oracles is that it turns out everything in the world that I see, here's my world. What I see, you guys are in my world, right? In my senses. It turns out it's actually all subjective. Like, are you wearing a white shirt? Is it white? Is it off-white? Is that a bag? Is that green color? What's the temperature in this room? Is it 72 degrees? Is it 71 degrees? Or is it 71.002 degrees? So everything in life is actually subjective. We might measure it. How much do I weigh now? It's all about precision. It's all about how, when I weigh, whether the scale is tuned and properly. So it turns out, many things in life are not as objective as we want to believe it is. So that's why blockchain, in my opinion, cannot be used for any real-world activities, because as soon as you bring the real world into the blockchain, whoever gets to write the data into the blockchain has to be the authority. In that case, you're trusting the person.
Trusting the code.
No, you're not trusting the code. You're trusting the person to insert the data. They talk about blockchain, supply chain, goods. Is this free-range chicken? Right? Is it really free-range or is it fake free-range? Well, in the end, I just trust the supermarket or the store that sells me, right? And then they trusted someone else, and we could have all been scammed. It wasn't free-range chicken. We would know. So the information that this chicken is free-range, if that's on the blockchain, it doesn't help. Mm-hmm. Right? It doesn't help to prove to me that this is a free-range chicken. In the end, trust a farmer, trust a truck driver, trust a distributor, the warehouse, the supermarket attendant. That they didn't swap it out. They took the free-range chicken off and put fake chicken on there. So my point is, blockchain doesn't solve that problem. Okay. All right. Question for you.
So Aneta, so the USD is the global reserve currency, and when the US prints more USD, it actually devalues everyone's, like the entire world.
That's right.
Currency.
That's right.
So I would think that other countries that are not US would prefer a neutral currency like Bitcoin over USD, but you said that they're all saying they all take it.
No, I'll tell you about that. Let me tell you about that. Thank you for bringing this topic. This is a great topic. What's interesting is, who knows this stat? How much China has in foreign currency reserves?
Well, they got
Who knows?
1.2
Raise your
trillion US dollars.
How much?
Exactly.
Roughly.
Trillion.
It's actually around, is it 4 trillion? 2 trillion?
I was going to guess 2.5
2 or
to
3 trillion, 2.5 trillion. Okay, let's just call it 3 trillion, okay? So China has 3 trillion in foreign currency reserves. Is that a good thing? Are you proud? Or not if you are proud, but for a Chinese person, are they proud that they have so much in foreign currency reserves? The irony, as much as I sometimes dismiss the US, but the US is really smart. Yep. China has $3 trillion of US dollars, worth of US dollars, right? In US government bonds and stuff like that, notes and bills. Whereas the US has $3 trillion worth of gold. So would you rather have something that has money? Right? It's like saying some country has $3 trillion today, US dollars worth of Zimbabwe dollars. It's a really bad deal. It's a really bad deal. So I've been telling China, if you want to get smart, dump the US Treasury stuff and buy something real, either gold or Bitcoin. And by the way, governments dismiss gold. They'll say, oh, gold is not money. And then they all hoard it. They have it, really. The US has 8,000 tons of gold. China, they've secretly been buying gold for the last 10 years. And they jumped from 400 tons to over 1,000 tons. They declared it in 2008, I think. And for the last 10 years, they didn't have it reported yet. But we think, the people in the industry know that China, I think, now has in excess of 10,000 tons of gold. And I think one day the China renminbi will be free floated. Right now it's pegged to the US dollar. When they make that free floating choice, they'll announce we have 12,000 tons of gold, more than the United States. And that's going to be a smart move. And at the same time, you should dump all the US bonds. Because right now, China, and the other thing about China and the US is, they're sort of, attacking each other, but they're tied at the hips. They can't kick each other out because US, if China sells the bonds, then the US is screwed financially. Then interest rates will go up, borrowing costs will go up, the budget balance will be terrible because think about it. If China sells the bonds, what happens? Interest rates go up. And then the US still needs to issue bonds to fund the government. And then you're basically issuing debt at a much higher interest rate. And
go to the socially progressive direction, whereas rights of money seems to come from a more traditional conservative kind of perspective that seems to go against the general trend of how of a more quote-unquote progressive society, and how do you see it play out, especially in Western developed countries?
I don't understand that. So
it seems like.
So where do you think our country's headed, aside from the current administration?
Yeah, so it's like the idea of decentralizing currency that just hurts the governments, no matter what political spectrum your government is, so much that it seems like it's very hard to imagine how that would play out in the.
I disagree. I don't think the decentralization of money, the cryptocurrency, hurts the government any more than antibiotics hurted the doctor business, right? Doctors could say, "Oh, in the old days we didn't have antibiotics; everybody got sick."